For centuries, whispers have drifted through the cracks of human history, stories of hidden realms beneath the earth. Agartha, a utopian kingdom of wisdom, sprawling underground cities, strange creatures lurking in shadowy depths. These myths have shaped beliefs, inspired philosophies, and even spawned conspiracies. But where do they come from? How did they evolve? And why do they still captivate us? Join us as we descend into the myths, philosophies, and stories of the Hollow Earth, where history, fiction, and the unexplained collide. Beneath the Earth's surface lies a legend that has persisted across centuries, a hidden kingdom known as Agartha, a place of unparalleled wisdom, enlightenment, and sanctuary. Rooted in Eastern traditions and later adopted into Western esoteric thought, the myth of Agartha offers a vision of a world beyond the mundane, where advanced beings preserve knowledge too profound for the surface world. Unlike many tales of the underworld, Agartha is not a realm of darkness and despair. It is a place of light, peace, and profound purpose, hidden beneath the crust of the earth. Agartha's roots can be traced to ancient Hindu cosmology and the Puranas, texts that describe vast subterranean realms like Patala, inhabited by powerful and wise beings such as the Nagas. The Nagas, semi-divine serpent-like entities, are guardians of these realms and stewards of profound knowledge. In Hindu mythology, they are protectors of sacred treasures, including wisdom, and they embody both benevolence and danger. The luminous world of Patala, ruled by the Nagas, provides an archetypal foundation for the later concept of Agartha as a realm of advanced beings and hidden truths. These ancient texts suggest that below the surface lies a structured, ordered domain where divine laws govern, mirroring Agartha's portrayal as a kingdom of balance and enlightenment. Central to the Agartha myth is the idea of hidden entrances, gateways concealed in remote and inhospitable regions of the earth. Legends speak of explorers stumbling upon mysterious doorways guarded by supernatural forces or natural barriers that defy explanation. In these stories, the Nagas and their Puranic counterparts often serve as intermediaries or gatekeepers, hinting at the wisdom and trials required to access such a sacred domain. These myths establish the idea of subterranean worlds as places of refuge and enlightenment, laying the groundwork for Agartha's evolution into a kingdom of spiritual and technological mastery. In its more developed form, Agartha is described as a vast subterranean kingdom ruled by enlightened beings who withdrew from the surface to preserve their wisdom. These beings, sometimes called the Elders or Guardians, are said to possess both spiritual and technological knowledge far beyond human comprehension. They are portrayed as custodians of balance, subtly guiding humanity from the shadows during times of great upheaval. In some versions of the myth, these guardians communicate with surface dwellers through dreams, visions, or other mystical means, offering glimpses of their wisdom. The descriptions of Agartha itself paint it as a utopian society. Its cities are illuminated by an internal sun or radiant energy, interconnected by advanced transportation networks. Some legends even describe libraries containing the knowledge of all ages, accessible only to those who have proven their virtue and spiritual readiness. The Nagas' legacy of guarding treasures and spiritual knowledge resonates deeply here, connecting Agartha's mythological purpose with its cosmological roots. Agartha's role in mythology extends beyond being a hidden paradise. It is often seen as a refuge during humanity's darkest hours, a sanctuary that opens its doors when the surface world is ravaged by war, famine, or disaster. This idea echoes the Nagas' role in Hindu myths, where they act as protectors of humanity and stewards of cosmic balance. Both Agartha and its earlier inspirations emphasize the importance of readiness and purity to access these sanctuaries, reinforcing themes of moral and spiritual growth. The enduring appeal of Agartha lies in its universal symbolism. It represents humanity's longing for hidden truths, for a place where wisdom and harmony prevail in contrast to the chaos of the surface world. By integrating elements of the Nagas and Puranic cosmology, Agartha's mythological framework becomes richer and more complex, linking ancient ideas of subterranean sanctuaries to modern visions of enlightenment and advanced civilizations. Throughout its history, the legend of Agartha has evolved, merging with other myths and taking on new dimensions as it spread across cultures. From its Eastern origins, it found a new home in Western esotericism, where it was reimagined through the lens of spiritual seekers and mystics. The story of Agartha continues to inspire exploration, not just of the physical earth, but of the boundaries of imagination and belief. As we delve deeper into the myth of Agartha, it becomes clear that this hidden kingdom is more than a curiosity of ancient lore. It is a symbol of humanity's enduring hope for a better world, one where wisdom and compassion guide the course of existence. Beneath the Earth's surface, the legend reminds us, there may lie answers not just to the mysteries of the planet, but to the mysteries within ourselves. The Earth, as seen through the lens of ancient myth, is far more than a solid crust of rock and soil. It is a layered world, teeming with hidden realms that exist just beyond human perception. From the luminous expanse of Patala, guarded by the Nagas, to the veiled sanctuaries of Tibetan myth, these stories describe a universe where the surface is only the beginning. The myths of the Beiyul, sacred hidden lands, provide another perspective on the idea of subterranean sanctuaries and deepen the broader tapestry of Agartha. In the rugged expanse of the Himalayas, where jagged peaks scrape the heavens, lies the promise of the Beiyul, hidden valleys infused with spiritual power. These sacred lands, described in Tibetan texts, were said to be concealed by Padmasambhava, the revered 8th century Buddhist master who introduced Vajrayana Buddhism to Tibet. The Beiyul are described as paradises, untouched by the suffering of the world. Protected by both natural and supernatural barriers, they remain invisible to all but the most spiritually pure. Legends suggest that when famine, war, or destruction threatens the surface, these sanctuaries open their gates to the deserving. Yet the journey to a Beiyul is no simple feat. Tibetan tradition holds that finding these valleys requires more than physical effort. It demands spiritual readiness and karmic purity. Only those guided by an open heart and a clear mind can hope to glimpse these hidden worlds. The Beiyul, in their very essence, mirror the themes of Agartha. Both are sanctuaries of wisdom and refuge, places that offer hope in the face of chaos. While Agartha is envisioned as an advanced civilization beneath the earth, the Beiyul are nestled within the Himalayan peaks. Yet their purpose is the same: to preserve what is sacred and provide guidance to those in need. This thematic overlap suggests a shared human yearning for spaces of safety and transcendence, whether imagined beneath the ground or hidden within mountain folds. Among the Beiyul, none loom larger in the collective imagination than Shambala. Unlike the physically rooted Beiyul, Shambala straddles the line between the material and the metaphysical. Described in the Kalachakra Tantra, one of Tibetan Buddhism's most sacred texts, Shambala is a kingdom of unparalleled harmony and enlightenment. Its rulers and inhabitants are said to have achieved complete spiritual liberation, living in perfect balance with the universe. The teachings surrounding Shambala emphasize that it is not a place one can simply stumble upon. Like Agartha, it is a realm protected by layers of mystery, accessible only to those who have reached a heightened state of awareness. Shambala exists as both a physical kingdom and a state of mind, reflecting the Buddhist belief that enlightenment is both an internal and external journey. In this way, the pursuit of Shambala parallels the search for Agartha, not merely an expedition but a quest for something greater, both within and without. Tibetan tradition holds that Shambala is destined to play a critical role in humanity's future. According to prophecy, when the world descends into chaos and greed, a great leader known as the Kalki King will rise from Shambala to restore balance. This apocalyptic vision resonates with similar stories across cultures, where hidden realms emerge during humanity's darkest moments to provide salvation or renewal. The parallels between the Beiyul and Agartha illuminate a shared narrative thread that transcends culture and geography. Both represent humanity's longing for hidden spaces where wisdom and peace prevail. They speak to a desire to believe that beneath or beyond the chaos of the surface, there exists a sanctuary, a place untouched by the corruption of the world where knowledge and guidance endure. The myth of Shambala, in particular, ties seamlessly into the idea of Agartha as a realm of advanced beings. Just as Shambala is said to be governed by enlightened rulers who guide humanity's spiritual evolution, Agartha is imagined as a kingdom ruled by beings of immense wisdom and technological mastery. Both myths envision a hidden domain that serves as a beacon of hope, offering guidance to a world in turmoil. These parallels hint at a universal human archetype, the belief that salvation lies just out of reach, in a place hidden not by geography, but by the limitations of perception and readiness. To understand Hollow Earth and the mythology of hidden realms like Agartha, we must delve into the ideas of an influential woman who drew deeply from Hindu and Buddhist traditions, blending ancient wisdom with a vision of spiritual evolution that continues to shape these fascinating myths. Helena Petrovna Blavatsky, one of the most influential figures in modern esotericism, lived a life that spanned continents and defied convention. Her relentless pursuit of spiritual knowledge and her bold vision of a unified system of thought would become the foundation for the Theosophical Society, a movement that sought to bridge the gaps between science, religion, and mysticism. Through her teachings and writings, Blavatsky not only introduced Western audiences to Eastern spiritual traditions, but also revived and reshaped ancient myths like Agartha, transforming them into central pillars of Western mysticism and popularizing their narratives for generations to come. Drawing on her extensive travels and studies, Blavatsky argued that the spiritual principles found in the world's oldest traditions could explain phenomena that science had yet to comprehend. From reincarnation to the nature of consciousness, she presented a worldview that celebrated mystery while seeking knowledge. The society became a global phenomenon, inspiring branches across Europe, the Americas, and Asia. By the late 19th century, the Theosophical Society had established itself as a powerful force in the world of spiritual exploration. Its influence extended far beyond its immediate circle, laying the groundwork for movements that would shape the 20th century, from the spread of Eastern philosophies in the West to the rise of New Age spirituality. Blavatsky's legacy is deeply intertwined with the myths she explored and expanded upon. Her belief in hidden realms of wisdom, both within and beyond the earth, would soon intersect with the ancient story of Agartha. In her hands, this myth would grow, weaving together threads of Eastern tradition, Western esotericism, and modern mysticism into a narrative that continues to captivate the imagination. Building on her travels and the foundation of the Theosophical Society, Helena Petrovna Blavatsky unveiled her most ambitious work in 1888, The Secret Doctrine. This 2-volume text, subtitled The Synthesis of Science, Religion, and Philosophy, sought to reveal the hidden truths of the cosmos and humanity's spiritual evolution. At its core was the concept of cosmic evolution, vast cycles of creation and destruction governed by spiritual laws. Blavatsky drew heavily from Hindu and Buddhist cosmologies, which described epochs or kalpas, shaping the rise and fall of worlds. These cycles, she argued, extended beyond the physical to the spiritual growth of humanity. Humanity's role in this grand cycle was explained through her doctrine of root races, successive stages of spiritual and physical evolution. From the Lemurians to the Atlanteans and modern humanity, the fifth root race. Each phase brought unique lessons and challenges, advancing humanity closer to enlightenment. Central to this framework were the Mahatmas, or ascended masters, enlightened beings Blavatsky claimed to communicate with directly. She described these spiritual guides, particularly Kuthumi and Maurya, as residing in Himalayan sanctuaries, preserving ancient wisdom and transmitting it to select individuals. Their teachings, often delivered through the Mahatma letters, became a cornerstone of theosophical belief, offering profound insights into the universe's hidden workings. Blavatsky insisted her knowledge was not solely her own, but the result of guidance from these advanced beings, blending myth, philosophy, and esoteric wisdom into a cohesive vision of cosmic and human evolution. The existence of the Mahatmas tied directly to Blavatsky's vision of hidden realms like Agartha. In The Secret Doctrine, she expanded on earlier notions of subterranean kingdoms, blending them with her teachings about advanced beings and spiritual sanctuaries. Agartha, she suggested, was more than a myth. It was a real place, inhabited by a highly evolved race that had retreated from the surface to preserve their knowledge. These beings, she argued, played a vital role in humanity's spiritual evolution, acting as both guides and guardians. Blavatsky's descriptions of Agartha were less about its geography and more about its purpose. She saw it as a spiritual nexus, a hidden kingdom where the wisdom of past ages was safeguarded until humanity was ready to receive it. The inhabitants of Agartha, much like the Mahatmas, were depicted as enlightened beings who worked behind the scenes to steer humanity through its cycles of progress and decline. This vision of Agartha tied seamlessly into her broader philosophy, where the physical and the metaphysical were inextricably linked. Through The Secret Doctrine, Blavatsky wove these elements into a cohesive narrative that spanned time and space. She framed Agartha not as an isolated legend, but as a key component of a larger spiritual reality. Its existence, she argued, was part of a cosmic design, a hidden thread connecting humanity's past, present, and future. The myth of Agartha, in Blavatsky's hands, became a powerful symbol of hope and guidance, a reminder that even in humanity's darkest moments, there are forces working toward its enlightenment. In Blavatsky's vision, the myths of subterranean realms and ascended masters were not relics of the past, but vital pieces of a larger puzzle. They challenged humanity to look beyond the surface, to seek out the truths buried beneath both the earth and the self. The echoes of Blavatsky's work had only just begun to ripple through the currents of esoteric thought when another visionary stepped forward to expand the myth of Agartha in ways that would captivate the Western imagination. Alexandre Saint-Yves d'Alvedre, a French occultist, diplomat, and mystic, took the threads of subterranean lore and wove them into a narrative of global significance. His 1886 work, Mission de Land, introduced a new vision of Agartha as a hidden kingdom whose influence stretched far beyond its subterranean borders. Saint-Yves described Agartha as a vast, highly advanced civilization existing beneath the Earth's surface. In his vision, this kingdom was not merely a sanctuary of spiritual wisdom, but a complex society governed by principles of universal justice and harmony. Its ruler, known as the King of the World, was both a spiritual guide and a political leader, charged with steering humanity toward enlightenment and balance. For Saint-Yves, this figure represented the apex of wisdom, embodying the ideals of governance and morality that the surface world so desperately lacked. One of Saint-Yves' most intriguing contributions was his description of the vast network of subterranean tunnels connecting Agartha to the surface world. According to his account, these tunnels stretched across continents, linking sacred sites such as the pyramids of Egypt, the Andes, and Angkor Wat. These passageways, he claimed, were not merely physical routes, but conduits for spiritual energy, allowing Agartha's influence to permeate the surface. In Saint-Yves' vision, these tunnels represented a hidden infrastructure, a reminder that the surface and subterranean worlds were deeply interconnected. Saint-Yves' narrative suggested that Agartha was not a passive observer of surface affairs, but an active participant in the unfolding of human history. Through the King of the World, Agartha served as a stabilizing force, subtly guiding humanity during times of crisis. This idea resonated deeply with the late 19th century's fascination with hidden powers and unseen hierarchies, reflecting both a yearning for order and a suspicion of the chaotic forces shaping the modern age. To Saint-Yves, Agartha was more than a myth. It was a model for the ideal society. He described its inhabitants as spiritually advanced beings who had transcended the divisions and conflicts that plagued the surface world. In Agartha, knowledge and power were wielded responsibly, and the principles of universal law governed every aspect of life. This utopian vision contrasted sharply with the political turbulence and social upheaval of Saint-Yves' time, offering a hopeful counterpoint to the disillusionment of the era. The king of the world in Saint-Yves' framework was not merely a ruler but a custodian of humanity's destiny. This figure operated at the intersection of the material and the divine, mediating between the spiritual forces of Agartha and the needs of the surface world. Saint-Yves described the king of the world as a guardian of sacred knowledge, tasked with ensuring that humanity's progress aligned with the cosmic order. This portrayal imbued the myth of Agartha with a sense of purpose and urgency, transforming it from a hidden sanctuary into an active force shaping the trajectory of civilization. Saint-Yves claimed that his knowledge of Agartha came through direct contact with spiritual adepts. He spoke of meetings with mysterious teachers who revealed the existence and workings of the hidden kingdom. While these claims drew skepticism from some quarters, they also fueled intrigue, reinforcing the allure of Agartha as a realm that could only be accessed through spiritual or esoteric channels. The ideas presented in Mission de Lande resonated beyond the occult circles in which Saint-Yves moved. His vision of Agartha, with its themes of global connection and enlightened governance, found echoes in the broader cultural and intellectual currents of the time. The late 19th century was a period of rapid change and uncertainty, marked by the rise of industrialization, colonial expansion, and scientific discovery. Amid this turbulence, the notion of a hidden kingdom guiding humanity offered both comfort and fascination. Saint-Yves' depiction of Agartha also intersected with the emerging interest in ancient civilizations and lost knowledge. The idea of subterranean tunnels connecting sacred sites lent a sense of plausibility to the myth, tying it to archaeological discoveries and popular speculation about the mysteries of ancient cultures. These connections blurred the line between legend and reality, inviting readers to imagine that Agartha might be more than a story, that it could exist, waiting to be rediscovered. Through Saint-Yves' work, Agartha was transformed from a mystical idea into a comprehensive framework for understanding the hidden forces shaping human existence. His vision expanded the myth's scope, presenting it as a global phenomenon with roots in the spiritual and material worlds alike. The king of the world became a symbol of hope and guidance, a figure who embodied the possibility of a better, more harmonious future. Saint-Yves' contribution to the myth of Agartha was profound, cementing its place in the Western esoteric tradition and laying the groundwork for its continued evolution. In his hands, the hidden kingdom became not just a repository of wisdom, but a beacon of possibility, inviting humanity to imagine a world guided by principles of balance, justice, and enlightenment. Saint-Yves d'Alvedre's vision of Agartha, with its subterranean tunnels and global connections, resonated deeply with humanity's fascination for the unexplored. These ideas did not emerge in a vacuum. They were rooted in persistent rumors and discoveries hinting at hidden labyrinths beneath the Earth's surface. Across the globe, whispers of buried passageways and ancient underground chambers offered tantalizing clues that seemed to support the plausibility of Agartha. One of the most enduring mysteries lies beneath the Great Pyramid of Giza. Egyptian tradition has long suggested that the pyramids are more than monumental tombs. They are gateways to a labyrinthine world hidden below the sands. Accounts from antiquity, such as those of Herodotus, describe vast underground chambers and tunnels beneath the pyramids, allegedly containing secret knowledge or treasures left by an advanced civilization. In the 19th century, these stories were revitalized by explorers and mystics, who speculated that these tunnels might connect to a broader network extending far beyond the Nile. Similar legends surround South America's ancient sites, particularly those of the Andes Mountains. The Inca civilization, known for its architectural mastery, left behind tales of a vast network of tunnels beneath sites like Machu Picchu and Sacsayhuaman. According to local law, these passageways were used to store treasures and sacred artifacts, or as escape routes during times of invasion. Some myths even claim these tunnels lead to a hidden world beneath the mountains, a realm of immense wealth and knowledge that parallels the descriptions of Agartha. The story of the lost treasure of the Lyanganites offers another intriguing connection. In Ecuador, rumors persist of an underground labyrinth guarding the immense wealth of the Inca Emperor Atahualpa. While many have searched for these tunnels, their existence remains unconfirmed, fueling speculation about the broader presence of subterranean worlds. In Europe, the Hypogeum of Halsaflieni in Malta has become another focal point for underground mystery. This prehistoric subterranean structure, dated to around 4000 BCE, features chambers and passages carved into the rock with astonishing precision. Some researchers have suggested that such sites could be remnants of a forgotten civilization, one that might have inspired stories of hidden realms like Agartha. The persistent allure of these sites lies not only in their historical significance, but in the way they blur the line between reality and myth. Each discovery, whether a partially excavated tunnel or a mysterious chamber, reinforces the possibility that the Earth's surface conceals far more than we comprehend. For proponents of Agartha, these discoveries serve as physical anchors for what might otherwise seem like purely speculative tales. The belief in global subterranean connections also draws on archaeological enigmas that defy conventional explanations. From the Derinkuyu underground city in Turkey, capable of sheltering thousands, to the Cu Chi tunnels of Vietnam, humanity's capacity to create vast underground networks hints at a precedent for such endeavors. While these examples were constructed for practical purposes, their existence lends credence to the idea that advanced civilizations could have built far greater networks now buried by time. Saint-Yves' writings harness these mysteries, weaving them into his vision of Agartha. The suggestion that ancient tunnels connected sacred sites across continents was not only plausible, but deeply compelling to a society captivated by the unknown. The idea of Agartha, rooted in these historical riddles, offered a framework that bridged mythology and archaeology, blending tangible discoveries with spiritual aspirations. The resonance of Agartha's myth did not end with Saint-Yves. It became a cornerstone of Western mysticism, evolving through the 20th century into a symbol of spiritual potential and hidden knowledge. Figures within the occult community, inspired by Saint-Yves' writings, expanded on the legend, incorporating it into broader esoteric systems. The work of mystics like Rudolf Steiner and movements like Anthroposophy drew on Agartha's themes of enlightenment and global unity, framing the hidden kingdom as a metaphor for humanity's spiritual evolution. Agartha's influence also extended into Theosophy, where its themes dovetailed with Blavatsky's teachings about advanced beings and subterranean sanctuaries. By the early 20th century, Agartha had become a touchstone for seekers of hidden truths, appearing in countless spiritual writings and lectures. Its mythos adapted to the changing times, blending seamlessly with emerging interests in ancient civilizations, lost continents, and extraterrestrial life. Even beyond occult circles, Agartha's legend found its way into popular culture, shaping narratives about the mysteries beneath our feet. It became a symbol of the uncharted, a reminder that the Earth still holds secrets waiting to be uncovered. Whether as a physical place or a spiritual ideal, Agartha continues to inspire those who dream of a world beyond the visible, where the boundaries of myth and reality dissolve into infinite possibility. The resonance of Saint-Yves d'Alvear's vision of Agartha extended far beyond his time, embedding itself deeply in the fabric of 20th century occult thought. His depiction of a subterranean utopia, ruled by the king of the world and linked to the surface through ancient tunnels, became a cornerstone for mystics and spiritual seekers eager to explore the hidden dimensions of existence. The Anthroposophical Society, founded by Rudolf Steiner, was among the first movements to draw from Saint-Yves' ideas. Steiner's teachings expanded on the concept of Agartha, blending it with his own vision of spiritual evolution. For Steiner, the kingdom symbolized humanity's latent potential, a reminder of the higher states of consciousness that could be attained through inner transformation. Agartha, he suggested, was not only a physical place, but a spiritual ideal, a metaphor for the enlightenment awaiting those who sought truth with discipline and purity of intent. Theosophists too embraced Agartha as a key element of their worldview. Helena Blavatsky's earlier teachings about subterranean sanctuaries and ascended masters found a natural complement in Saint-Yves' vision. Writers like Annie Besant and Charles Leadbeater elaborated on the idea, integrating Agartha into their narratives about hidden spiritual hierarchies guiding humanity's progress. The King of the World, in particular, became a figure of fascination, symbolizing a link between the divine and the earthly. During the early 20th century, Agartha also began to influence broader esoteric currents. Figures such as René Guénon, a French metaphysician, saw the hidden kingdom as a repository of sacred wisdom, untouched by the corruption of modernity. In his writings, Guénon portrayed Agartha as the spiritual center of the world, a place where the primordial truths of existence were preserved in their purest form. This interpretation resonated with the growing disillusionment of the industrial age, offering an antidote to the alienation many felt in a rapidly changing world. Agartha's allure was further magnified by its flexibility as a symbol. It could represent a literal underground kingdom, a spiritual ideal, or a metaphor for the collective unconscious. This adaptability allowed it to weave its way into the cultural fabric, influencing everything from occult literature to speculative fiction. By mid-century, Agartha had transcended its esoteric roots, becoming a touchstone for anyone drawn to the mysteries of what lies beneath. Through these transformations, Agartha solidified its place as one of the enduring myths of Western mysticism, a kingdom both hidden and ever-present, whispering its secrets to those willing to listen. Beneath the Earth's surface, the luminous halls of Patala guarded by the Nagas are not the only stories of subterranean life. Across the world, myths speak of other beings who dwell in the hidden realms beneath our feet, creatures of profound skill, wisdom, and mystery. These entities, like the Nagas, serve as protectors, creators, and sometimes challengers, embodying humanity's enduring fascination with the unknown depths of the earth. In Norse mythology, the dwarves of Svartalfheim are celebrated as master craftsmen. Their underground forges are said to burn with the fires of creation, producing artifacts that shape the fate of gods and men alike. From Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, to Odin's spear, Gungnir, the dwarves' creations are more than tools. They are symbols of cosmic balance and divine power. Yet these beings are not merely industrious artisans. They are fiercely protective of their works, embodying both the allure and peril of subterranean wisdom. The tale of Andvari, a dwarf who guards a hoard of cursed gold, illustrates this duality. When Andvari's treasure is stolen, he curses it, ensuring that it will bring misfortune to all who possess it. Among the stolen items is the ring Andvaranot, a talisman of immense value and catastrophic consequence. This story reflects a universal truth found in myths of the underground. The treasures of the depths are not freely given, and those who seek them must navigate both their allure and their risks. In the deserts of the American Southwest, the Hopi Ant people offer a strikingly different vision of subterranean beings. According to Hopi tradition, these benevolent creatures played a pivotal role in humanity's survival during times of global catastrophe. During the destruction of the First and Second Worlds, the surface of the earth became uninhabitable, ravaged by fire and ice. The Ant people guided the Hopi into vast underground chambers, providing shelter, food, and knowledge to ensure their survival. The Ant people's role extends beyond mere survival. They are depicted as wise and nurturing, their elongated limbs and antennae-like features distinguishing them from humans, while reinforcing their connection to the Earth's hidden realms. For the Hopi, the Ant people are both protectors and teachers, sharing lessons about resilience, harmony, and respect for the natural world. Their story underscores a recurring theme in myths of subterranean beings: the idea that beneath the earth lies not just refuge, but wisdom, waiting to be uncovered. Other cultures tell of subterranean beings whose roles are equally profound. In ancient Greek mythology, the Cyclopes, one-eyed giants of immense strength and skill, are said to have forged Zeus's thunderbolts in the volcanic depths of the earth. These creations, like the dwarves' artifacts, were not mere weapons but instruments of divine order, shaping the balance of power among the gods. The Cyclopes, often portrayed as both fearsome and ingenious, embody the tension between creation and destruction that defines so many stories of the underground. In Mesoamerican tradition, the Aztecs speak of Mictlan, the underworld ruled by Mictlantecutli and Mictecacihuatl, deities who govern death and rebirth. In these myths, the subterranean realm is not a place of finality but a crucible of transformation, where the cycles of life are renewed. The journey through Mictlan is perilous, requiring courage and wisdom, and the beings who inhabit this realm are both guides and gatekeepers. Across these myths, the beings of the subterranean world serve as reflections of humanity's relationship with the unknown. They are creators and destroyers, guardians and challengers, embodying the duality of the hidden realms they inhabit. Their stories remind us that the Earth's depths are not merely a physical space, but a symbolic one, filled with potential and peril in equal measure. These beings also serve as mirrors to humanity's aspirations and fears. The treasures they guard, whether physical like the dwarves' artifacts or spiritual like the wisdom of the ant people, are symbols of the rewards that lie beyond hardship and trial. Yet they also warn of the dangers inherent in seeking what lies below, challenging us to confront our own intentions and worthiness. As humanity's myths trace the boundaries of the known and the unknown, the beings of the underground emerge as both protectors and gatekeepers. They stand at the threshold of the hidden, offering a glimpse of the mysteries that lie beneath our feet, waiting for those bold enough to descend into their realms. From the mythical Nagas to the Hopi ant people, stories of subterranean beings have long shaped humanity's imagination. But such tales are not confined to ancient texts or cultural memory. They persist into modern times, now entwined with eerie encounters and whispered accounts of pale, otherworldly creatures glimpsed in the shadows of our own world. These stories shift from the realm of legend to something more immediate, drawing us into the dim recesses of caves, abandoned mines, and the vast subterranean labyrinths that remain largely unexplored. Few chroniclers of the unexplained delved as deeply into these accounts as John Keel, the journalist and author, whose investigations into paranormal phenomena became legendary. Best known for his work on the Mothman prophecies, Keel was also fascinated by reports of humanoid creatures linked to subterranean activity. During the 1960s and 70s, Keel documented numerous accounts of individuals who claimed to have encountered pale, elongated beings emerging from caves or abandoned mines. These entities, described as having unnervingly human-like forms, seemed to defy categorization, neither fully alien nor entirely earthly. Keel's reports often centered on regions with extensive cave networks, such as Appalachia and the American Midwest. Witnesses described seeing figures with unnaturally large eyes adapted to darkness, their movements deliberate yet otherworldly. In one chilling account, a group of spelunkers in West Virginia reported hearing whispers echoing through a cavern, though they were certain they were alone. As they ventured deeper, they caught sight of shadowy figures slipping silently through the darkness, disappearing into the crevices of the cave. These stories, collected by Keel, painted a haunting portrait of the unknown lurking just beneath the surface. The Kentucky Mammoth Cave System, one of the largest subterranean networks in the world, has long been a focal point for such reports. Stretching over 400 miles, its labyrinthine passages evoke both wonder and unease. Local legends speak of pale humanoid creatures, sometimes referred to as cave dwellers or subterranean cryptids, that have been spotted by explorers and researchers over the decades. These beings are often described as having elongated limbs and large reflective eyes, their pallid skin hinting at lifetimes spent away from sunlight. One of the most unsettling accounts came from a researcher mapping an uncharted section of the cave system in the early 1980s. After hours of navigating narrow passages, he claimed to have encountered a group of figures crouched near a subterranean stream. They were humanoid but distinctly inhuman, with elongated fingers and expressions that seemed both curious and wary. When he shone his flashlight on them, they scattered, disappearing into the darkness with unnerving speed. The experience left him shaken, convinced he'd stumbled upon something far beyond his understanding. Beyond sightings, the Mammoth Cave System is rife with mysterious sounds that defy explanation. explorers have reported hearing rhythmic drumming, faint voices, and even distant laughter emanating from the depths. Cryptid enthusiasts have speculated that these sounds are evidence of an unknown species residing within the caves, one that has managed to evade detection by retreating into the most inaccessible parts of the labyrinth. Such stories are not limited to Kentucky. Across the United States and beyond, accounts of subterranean activity hint at a hidden world populated by creatures that challenge our understanding of biology and geography. In California, the Lovelock Cave has become a hotspot for speculation, fueled by the discovery of unusually large skeletal remains in the early 20th century. Some researchers have linked these findings to Native American legends of a race of red-haired giants that once inhabited the region, retreating to the caves as they were hunted by local tribes. In South America, miners in the Andes have spoken of encounters with duendes, small humanoid creatures said to dwell in the mines. These beings are described as mischievous, but also protective of the Earth's resources, warning miners against greed and exploitation. Similar stories appear in European folklore, where tales of kobolds and knockers, spirits of the mines, blur the line between myth and modern-day paranormal accounts. The persistent theme of mysterious sounds linked to subterranean activity has also intrigued researchers. Reports of low-frequency hums, mechanical vibrations, and inexplicable roars have been documented near cave systems worldwide. In some cases, these phenomena have been attributed to natural causes, such as shifting rock formations or underground rivers. But for those drawn to the mysteries of the Earth, they suggest something more. A hint of hidden movements and unseen presences beneath our feet. John Keel, in his writings, often speculated on the connection between these subterranean encounters and broader paranormal phenomena, including UFO sightings and cryptid activity. He proposed that the Earth's depths might harbor beings whose existence predates humanity, creatures who remain hidden not by chance but by design. For Keel, the caves and mines of the world were more than geological formations. They were portals to the unknown, conduits through which the mysteries of the past and present converged. The allure of these stories lies not only in their strangeness, but in their consistency across time and place. Whether it is the pale figures of Mammoth Cave, the whispers of West Virginia's mines, or the legends of duendes in the Andes, they suggest a subterranean realm that is both part of our world and profoundly separate from it. They challenge us to question what might still lie undiscovered in the dark corners of our planet, waiting, watching, and perhaps guarding secrets we are not yet ready to understand. The stories of pale beings and cryptic sounds echoing from the Earth's depths take on an even stranger dimension when paired with reports of unidentified flying objects, UFOs, interacting with subterranean landscapes. Across the globe, witnesses have described seeing mysterious lights descend into mountains, vanish into caves, or streak away from the ground in impossible trajectories. These sightings blur the line between extraterrestrial phenomena and the mysteries of the Earth itself, hinting at connections far more intricate than surface appearances suggest. In the rugged peaks of the Rocky Mountains, for example, there are decades-old reports of UFOs diving into the jagged cliffs of Blanca Peak, one of the range's most sacred and remote sites. Witnesses have described glowing orbs of light and metallic crafts vanishing into the mountain's sheer rock faces, leaving no trace behind. For the nearby Ute tribes, who regard Blanca Peak as a place of spiritual power, such events are seen not as anomalies, but as continuations of the mountain's long-standing association with otherworldly forces. The Cave of the Bells in Arizona offers a similarly perplexing connection. Explorers and locals alike have recounted seeing strange lights emanating from the cave's depths. Some have even claimed to observe disc-shaped objects hovering above its entrance, as though poised to enter or exit. These reports have fueled speculation that such sites serve as portals or bases for extraterrestrial activity, hidden beneath the surface to elude detection. In Mount Shasta, California, long considered a hotspot for paranormal activity, reports of UFOs descending into the mountain's hidden caverns have persisted for decades. The mountain itself is steeped in lore, from tales of ancient Lemurian survivors dwelling beneath its slopes to contemporary accounts of glowing crafts disappearing into its volcanic core. For believers, these overlapping narratives point to a larger hidden network linking the subterranean with the extraterrestrial. Theories tying UFO phenomena to subterranean beings abound. Some propose that the pale, elongated creatures sighted in caves are not native to Earth, but are instead extraterrestrial entities who have made their homes beneath the planet's surface. These beings, according to such theories, use underground bases to conduct their operations, shielded from human observation by the vastness of the Earth's unexplored caves and tunnels. Others suggest that these beings are ancient Earth inhabitants, species far older than humanity, who have long shared the planet with us in secret. The connection to UFOs in this context becomes a matter of collaboration. Perhaps these subterranean beings work in tandem with extraterrestrial visitors, their underground dwellings doubling as joint bases for advanced technology and interdimensional travel. John Keel himself speculated on the links between UFOs and subterranean phenomena. He proposed that the Earth might harbor beings with the capability to manipulate energy and perception, creating the illusion of extraterrestrial craft. These connections, while speculative, underscore a tantalizing possibility that the mysteries of the subterranean and the extraterrestrial are not separate, but part of a larger interconnected puzzle. The sightings of UFOs descending into mountains and disappearing into caves challenge our understanding of the boundaries between the known and the unknown, hinting at a shared narrative of hidden worlds both above and below. The connections between subterranean beings and UFO phenomena hint at a broader, more audacious question. What if the Earth itself is not as solid and impenetrable as we have been taught? For centuries, the concept of a hollow Earth has tantalized the imagination, its roots grounded not in myth, but in the speculative science of visionaries who dared to challenge the boundaries of understanding. One of the earliest proponents of such an idea was Edmund Halley, the renowned 17th century astronomer best known for predicting the orbit of the comet that bears his name. In 1692, Halley proposed a hypothesis that the Earth was composed of concentric spheres nested within one another, much like a Russian doll. He suggested that between these layers existed vast, habitable spaces illuminated by a luminous central core. Halley's theory, though speculative, arose from his observations of the Earth's magnetic field, which he believed could be better explained by the movement of these internal spheres. Halley's vision was more than a flight of fancy. It was a serious attempt to explain anomalies in the natural world. He proposed that these inner layers might be home to unknown life forms, protected from the surface's harsh elements. Though modern science would later dismiss his ideas, Halley's concentric sphere hypothesis set the stage for a wave of speculation that would capture the public's imagination. A century later, John Cleves Symmes Jr., an American Army officer turned explorer, expanded on the hollow Earth idea with a theory that was even more ambitious. Symmes proposed that the Earth was hollow and accessible through large openings at the North and South poles. These polar entrances, he argued, could serve as gateways to a vast, unexplored world within the Earth. Symmes' vision of a hollow Earth was bold and precise. He described a lush, habitable realm beneath the surface, warmed by an internal sun and teeming with life. Unlike Halley's nested spheres, Symmes imagined a single immense hollow chamber that could support entire civilizations. He believed that this inner world was not just a possibility, but a reality, one that humanity had a duty to explore. To promote his theory, Symmes embarked on an aggressive campaign of lectures and publications. In 1818, he issued a public declaration addressed to the whole world, announcing his intent to mount an expedition to the North Pole to locate and enter the fabled openings. Symmes even sought funding from Congress, hoping to secure government backing for his daring venture. Though his proposals were ultimately rejected, Symmes's persistence left a lasting mark on the popular imagination. Symmes' ideas gained a fervent following, with supporters who became known as Symmesians. Among them was Jeremiah Reynolds, a journalist and explorer who shared Symmes' passion for uncovering the mysteries of the Earth's interior. Reynolds's advocacy helped spread the Hollow Earth theory to a wider audience, including the literary world. Writers like Edgar Allan Poe and Jules Verne drew inspiration from these ideas, weaving them into works that further blurred the line between scientific speculation and fantastical adventure. While Symmes's expedition never materialized, his legacy endured. His theories sparked debates in scientific and philosophical circles, challenging established notions of the Earth's structure. For many, the Hollow Earth was not merely a hypothesis, but a tantalizing glimpse of what might lie beyond the limits of known geography. These early theories also laid the groundwork for more modern beliefs about hidden worlds beneath the surface. The idea of polar entrances, in particular, became a cornerstone of Hollow Earth lore, evolving into a central theme in conspiracy theories that would emerge in the 20th century. The notion of vast unexplored regions at the poles, places where the Earth's surface might give way to an entirely new dimension, captured the imagination of both skeptics and believers. Though science would ultimately dismiss the physical possibility of a hollow Earth, the concept endured as a symbol of humanity's insatiable curiosity. It represented the belief that the world still held secrets waiting to be uncovered, mysteries that defied the boundaries of conventional understanding. The Hollow Earth became more than a scientific hypothesis. It became a metaphor for the unknown, a reminder that beneath the surface, whether literal or metaphorical, lay infinite possibilities. From Halley's concentric spheres to Symmes' polar entrances, these early theories were not merely products of their time. They were seeds of a larger narrative that continues to unfold. They challenged humanity to imagine a world beyond the visible, a world where ancient myths and modern science converged to create something truly extraordinary. As the 20th century dawned, the Hollow Earth theories laid down by Edmund Halley and John Cleves Symmes Jr. found fertile ground in an age marked by exploration, technological advancement, and the burgeoning paranoia of global conflict. What had once been the realm of scientific speculation now merged with conspiracy, myth, and intrigue, transforming the Hollow Earth into a cornerstone of modern legend. Nowhere was this fusion of belief and imagination more potent than in the murky tales of Nazi expeditions. During the 1930s and 1940s, as Germany pursued its expansionist ambitions, whispers began to circulate about secret Nazi expeditions to Antarctica, a land as mysterious as the myths themselves. According to later conspiracy theories, the Nazis were not merely interested in establishing territorial claims on the icy continent. They were searching for something far more profound, an entrance to Agartha, the hidden subterranean kingdom described in occult lore. These stories often cite the Thule Society, an esoteric group within the Nazi regime, as a driving force behind these expeditions. The Thule Society, steeped in mysticism and Aryan mythology, was rumored to have believed in the existence of a superior ancient civilization hidden beneath the earth. Though historical records confirm that Nazi Germany did conduct a scientific expedition to Antarctica in 1938 to 1939, the mission, led by Alfred Richer, appears to have been focused on mapping and surveying the region. Yet conspiracy theorists have woven a far more elaborate narrative, suggesting that the Nazis discovered entrances to underground caverns leading to Agartha and possibly established secret bases beneath the ice. These claims are bolstered by alleged sightings of advanced Nazi aircraft, described as flying saucers, long after the war's end, sparking speculation that the technology might have originated from this hidden world. One of the most enduring figures tied to Hollow Earth conspiracies is Admiral Richard E. Byrd, a celebrated American explorer who led multiple expeditions to Antarctica in the mid-20th century. Byrd's accounts of his missions have been the subject of intense scrutiny, particularly his 1947 flight during Operation High Jump, a large-scale Antarctic expedition. In later years, a fabricated diary attributed to Byrd began circulating within conspiracy circles. This document claimed that Byrd had flown into an opening near the South Pole, where he encountered a technologically advanced civilization living within the Earth. The diary, despite being debunked as a hoax, captured the imaginations of countless believers. It described an inner world filled with lush landscapes, illuminated by a glowing inner sun, and populated by beings who communicated telepathically. These inhabitants allegedly warned Byrd about humanity's destructive tendencies and the dangers of nuclear war, urging him to relay their message to the surface world. While there is no credible evidence to support these claims, the tale has become a central pillar of modern Hollow Earth lore. Byrd's legitimate writings and speeches do convey a deep awe for Antarctica's vast, uncharted expanses, and this sense of mystery may have fueled the legend surrounding his expeditions. Yet the misinterpretation and embellishment of his work reflect a broader human tendency to fill the unknown with imagination, blending fact and fiction into a narrative that feels both thrilling and profound. The connections between Hollow Earth theories and UFO lore further amplified during the mid-20th century. By the 1950s and 60s, reports of flying saucers entering and exiting mountains, polar regions, and remote cave systems gained traction among enthusiasts. These accounts fed into the idea that subterranean realms might not only house ancient civilizations, but also serve as bases for extraterrestrial visitors. For some, the pale humanoid beings described in cave encounters were no longer thought to be indigenous to Earth, but rather emissaries from other worlds, using the underground as a staging ground for their activities. The notion of subterranean UFO bases tied into broader Cold War anxieties about secret technologies and hidden powers. Stories emerged of advanced aircraft, often linked to alleged Nazi experiments or extraterrestrial alliances, being spotted over polar regions or near cavernous entrances. These reports further entwined the myths of Agartha and the Hollow Earth with the burgeoning fascination and fear of UFOs. The blending of these narratives is perhaps most evident in the writings of figures like Ray Palmer, the editor of Amazing Stories magazine, who championed the Shaver mystery, an account of ancient advanced beings living underground. Palmer's work, while often dismissed as pulp fiction, resonated with readers who saw parallels between subterranean myths, UFO sightings, and Cold War secrecy. For many, the Hollow Earth became not just a relic of 19th century speculation, but a vital piece of a larger puzzle, connecting ancient wisdom, extraterrestrial contact, and the hidden mechanisms of power. By the mid-20th century, Hollow Earth theories had become a rich tapestry of interconnected ideas, weaving together historical expeditions, occult beliefs, and modern conspiracies. Whether through the Nazi expeditions, Byrd's Antarctic missions, or UFO sightings, the notion of a hidden world beneath the surface offered an irresistible narrative, one that promised both the allure of discovery and the thrill of uncovering suppressed truths. The intertwining of Hollow Earth theories with conspiracies, expeditions, and UFO lore laid a foundation that continues to captivate imaginations. These myths have not remained confined to the realm of fringe theories or occult speculation. They have seeped into the fabric of modern culture, influencing films, literature, and even games. Their endurance speaks to their symbolic power, a reflection of humanity's eternal fascination with the unseen and the unknown. In literature, the impact of Hollow Earth myths is undeniable. Jules Verne's journey to the center of the Earth remains a cornerstone of the genre, painting a vivid picture of a hidden world beneath our feet. Verne's imaginative landscapes of prehistoric creatures and lost civilizations brought the concept of subterranean realms to a global audience, igniting a fascination that continues to this day. Edgar Rice Burroughs expanded on this idea with his Pellucidar series, envisioning an inner world filled with adventure, danger, and untold mysteries. These works, blending science fiction and fantasy, solidified the Hollow Earth as a literary archetype, a setting where the rules of the surface world dissolve into boundless possibility. The influence extends to cinema, where Hollow Earth narratives have played a key role in science fiction and adventure films. From the lush, prehistoric landscapes of The Land That Time Forgot to the awe-inspiring caverns of Journey to the Center of the Earth adaptations, filmmakers have drawn upon these myths to craft worlds that challenge the imagination. More recently, blockbuster franchises like Godzilla vs. Kong have revived the idea, presenting the Hollow Earth as the birthplace of ancient titans and a battleground for primal forces. These cinematic depictions reflect the enduring allure of hidden realms, where danger and discovery intertwine. In gaming, Hollow Earth themes have inspired some of the most iconic and immersive experiences. Games like Tomb Raider and Uncharted draw players into subterranean environments filled with ancient secrets and hidden treasures. The Elder Scrolls series incorporates vast underground realms, weaving Hollow Earth motifs into sprawling narratives. These interactive explorations resonate with players, offering a chance to confront the unknown and uncover the mysteries of the Earth firsthand. But why do these myths persist? Perhaps it is because they speak to something universal in the human psyche. The Hollow Earth embodies the tension between fear and curiosity, the instinct to explore, and the dread of what might be found. It symbolizes the hope that there is still more to discover, that beneath the surface of the world, and ourselves, lie layers of untapped potential and hidden truth. In an era dominated by technology and satellite imagery, where much of the Earth has been mapped and catalogued, the Hollow Earth remains a stubborn reminder that not all mysteries have been solved. It invites us to imagine, to question, and to believe that the unknown still holds sway, offering a counterpoint to the certainties of modern life. As long as humanity dreams of hidden realms and uncharted territories, the myths of the Hollow Earth will endure, whispering from the shadows, daring us to descend into the depths and confront the mysteries that lie below. From ancient myths to modern conspiracies, the story of the Hollow Earth is more than a tale of what lies below. It's a reflection of humanity's unyielding curiosity and desire to explore the unknown. These myths continue to evolve, blending truth, fiction, and fear into a story that speaks to our deepest instincts. Perhaps what truly lies beneath is not just rock and stone, but the mysteries of our own imagination, waiting to be uncovered.